think I deserve a pat on the back, that one right there. Gotta be careful not to break my shoulder with my own strength though. I mean, I am so strong, it's actually humiliating how strong I am. You know, my muscles are so thick and heavy that it winds up weighing me down and breaking my bones. I've been told so many times that I need to, like, stop being so fit and healthy because I'm too much of a perfect human specimen. I make other people pale in comparison to me. Like, women just look at me and they just ditch whoever they're with currently. You know, it's a huge problem. I can't be with everyone. You know, there's only one of me to go around. I'm sorry to say it, ladies.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe this is what commentary has become! Yo guys, I've got a spark which I'm going to use to ignite the fire for a brand new Skylanders Roulette video where I'm going to come back here. I'm going to speak real quickly. He definitely seems to wander off right now. This is true, he is an arcane robot. What he's not is cool because his gameplay is lame and slow paced, and I'm not the largest fan, though that is controversial from what I've heard because a lot of people love this character. Anyway, as you can tell, everyone's favourite NPC is already ready and waiting for us because I got past the whole Clamtron 4000 sequence, only to realise that both my capture footage and my phone footage had corrupted, so I had no face cam and no gameplay. Basically meaning I had literally nothing to build up the video with, so I had to quit halfway through the Crystalline Castle before restarting the recording of this here episode in my fancy pink holiday shirt right here. I love the colours in this. I've just got to hope that this green here doesn't start phasing through, otherwise it looks like there's a hole where my heart's supposed to be. So, do I want to follow the Malkin to the Crystalline Castle? Oh yeah, I suppose I do.
Other way? Of course it is.
I just got a notification to remind me to cancel some of my subscription services before they take out money from my account that I don't even have. So, saving money I don't even have wouldn't need to be a wise decision of mine. Anyway, we're going to have some really interesting topics lined up to discuss in this here video. Titled Shall Be No Lie for Stone Town. We are going to discuss and rank every single one of the boss fights in this game. But first things first, we've got to get through Crystalline Castle. Easiest said and done, given how many air segments pop up here. And as I bring up my notes on my laptop, we'll notice that air is the one-hit challenge. As if it's bad enough for air alone being that challenge, there's also a possibility that we get a one-hit challenge for fire segments as well, given that fire is a challenge picked at random. Fortunately for me, I have the best running video game for skip button to skip this and get it out of here. We're going to hit the ice switch because it looks to be funny, no other reason. And, this one's going to be tough given how much air there is here, and the fact that I have to go through air segments with characters like Wham-Shell. Not the easiest to take no damage with him whatsoever now, is it? And so yeah, luckily for me, fire doesn't appear until Battlefield is its very first appearance in this game, so I won't need to worry about random challenges for a while now, but it's definitely something to still worry about in the future. Anyway, now we have an Earth segment popping up, so we need to switch out for double trouble on our roulette, and we also need to flip our controller upside down. Oh boy, I'm already not used to the inverted controls. Yeah, this is not as easy as I'm making it look, trust me on that. Luckily, this Earth segment does not last very long. Die, frickin' frick. Yeah, he took that to the face, didn't he? It wasn't the bestest at dealing with that. Okay, these folks are going down. Told you! Now I need to watch out for, even if this guy's vulnerability during his spin and all that. I've also got to be careful in the fact that Double Trouble here isn't what you'd call very high on the golden experience per count, given that he did appear from the magic element at one point, so we had to reset him. In fact, for certain segments is going to be made all the more harder than magic. We have to reset our characters, and magic could also appear for a random challenge for our fire segments, where we will have to reset any fires for any Skylanders that we switch out for said fire segments. I almost said fire characters in the fire segments. We don't need to worry about being specific with our elements. Oh boy, we got a Chucky dude, and now we have like 6 billion spinny dudes. Wham-Shell's already taken the one hit of damage. yeah, I was not looking forward to doing this with Wham-Shell, and that right there was kind of a result I was expecting, so let's get him out of here and generate a random name.
I'm really sorry, but I have to let you go. And it's purely budgetary. It's not personal.
I'm gonna kill myself!
Wow.
I'm going to kill myself, and it's your fault!
It would seem as though we're switching out from one forgotten Skylander to another. And here we go, we're bringing out the Voodood. Apologies for that cut right there. That guy kind of backed up and gave you some space to work with. Boom! He's out of here, and we managed to destroy the eye all in one. This is glorious. You see, Voodood, much better one of the Forgotten 8 than Wham-Shell, which is once again another hot take of mine. I thought I almost sabotaged myself trying to push this turtle into place whilst the chompies were after me. But case in point here, we have one Wham-Shell, a very popular Forgotten 8, and then for Voodood, who is so annihilative that he's even using turtles to remove the chompies from the equation. Boom, let's be pushing that guy back into place. Oh yeah! Man, we have an annoying sound glitch, which I can hear in my headphones, and it is such a nuisance. But let's be destroying crates for looking at me funny no other reason. Man, this commentary is fantastic! Top notch! You see, with Wham-Shell, my commentary is just so lame, like the character himself, and, you know, popular character, I care less. I'm going to trash talk him because I feel like it, and that's my personal opinion, which, as always, if you disagree with that personal opinion of mine, you are wrong. That's how opinions work. I don't make up rules, I just reinforce them. Okay, we've got to be very careful here. Luckily for me, I can annihilate in a couple of hits with this character, so taking damage was basically an impossibility for us. Now this guy has combos, which are always pretty cool. Wham-Shell doesn't have combos now, does he? So again, I don't care if I'm being controversial and all that. Wham-Shell is a garbage character. Voodood, on the other hand, not so much. There's an undead gate here, and we are yet to have seen a single undead pop up on a random name picker, because it would just turn out a random name picker hates undead Skylanders for some reason. I can't fathom why. Some of the undead Skylanders are really good, but not my fault that random name picker seems to not like them. But that being said, let's continue on already. We managed to conquer this air segment with pure luck for the most part, like those spinny dudes being vulnerable for us right as we spawned in. Obviously, like having space to maneuver. And now we have a tech element where we can't use projectiles. Luckily for us, with Basher, that would be no problem because he has no projectiles. He would if he was upgraded, but we had to reset him twice because that's just the way the cookie crumbled with this guy. Oh boy, we've got to be careful though. With him being low on health, he could die very easily if we aren't, as I said previously, careful. You know what, being careful is overrated. I'm just going to go in rocks are blazing because that's what this guy's all about. He's all about them rocks. Here's Earth Elemental and all that. Hey, don't you hit me, I hit you! And I absolutely annihilate you with that hit too. Getting a bit of a rhyme and a rhythm going here, making me a poet without even knowing it. Hell to the yes! What wasn't so cool was the fact that we left that till the last minute and then slowly walked away from a crumbling tower. Who am I kidding? That's fucking dope is what that is. That's the ultimate superhero epicness, shall we say. What's not so much epicness is that Baby Groot, a melee character, has to tackle an air segment, which means he cannot get hit a single time, which is a feat. Easier said than done, especially when that guy comes out of nowhere. Forgot that he existed in this segment, to be honest. Yeah, we're just going to avoid enemies, because if we avoid them, we can't get hit by them now, can we? Luckily, we have projectiles to take down that spinny dude with. Baby Groot's not doing too bad with this one-hit challenge thus far. Can we hit him from down here? Because otherwise we're kind of just going to fall down onto his spinny thing. And luckily for us, we did indeed manage to avoid him and kill him from up there. Oh, now we've got to watch out for the spinny dudes and chompies whilst we're at it. Die. Thank you. Oh wow, we've got 2 for the price of 1 right there. For once, the acorn path is what came in clutch for us. We love to see it. Oh boy, now we've got 2 Chucky dudes. We're going to take out the Chucky dudes first, and then we're going to come back for the eyeballs. I don't trust myself in attacking the eyeballs and not getting attacked by them in the process. Luckily, they have terrible aim. Thank God for that. Hopefully I didn't just jinx myself. Didn't jinx myself. Yeah! I didn't jinx myself. Let's go Stump Smash. This is one of the only air segments I've gotten through thus far in Roulette without a single failure. So yeah, this we love to see, my friends. We love to see it. Sub-Smash is just a beast, or more accurately, Baby Groot is just a beast, which is the truest words one has ever said. Okay, so looks like we're going into a tech segment with Warnado. Luckily, his projectiles aren't make or break. I think we can get through this just fine without them. Boom! I strike you! Just got to be careful not to accidentally push the B button out of habit, which is, or the X button even, which is obviously the secondary attack. The B button in the Xbox controller would be the secondary attack for all the other games. Die! Die! This is what death looks like. Die! 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 Yeah, unfortunately projectiles only means, or no projectiles even means primary attack only. So basically for Warnado, for the tech challenge, it's the exact same as the Water challenge. Die. Thank you. Much appreciated. Yeah, he's dead at long last, and now these things too can also be much dead. But we do have the toughest segment of the level coming up, which is an air segment, unfortunately, so Drill Sergeant needs to get out of it completely unscathed, which is, as always, easier said than done. And it's not like we're out of the waters yet, because we have even more air segments coming up from Treetop Terrace. But these two episodes, going back to back and all that, are definitely going to be the shortest ones, because we only have 2 levels for the Earth and Life Elemental sources, and those aren't long levels neither. I mean, we're almost done with this one, and we're barely 10 minutes in. But now it's time to switch back to Drill Sergeant. We're going to be ending off the level with the very same character that we started it with. And doing all of that, we're going to need to take no hits whatsoever. Man, my throat wasn't my bestest most friend right there. So here we are with the inner courtyard. Yeah, these guys aren't going to be alive much longer. Oh shit, I always took a hit from the barrel. My Coconut was almost the best of me, just to make a change, because I'm never cocky and never does that ever jinx me. Oh shit, how did I avoid that? I mean, we'll take it. Yeah, we just kind of maneuvering around that rock right there with more annoying, long-lasting sound effects. Boy, the sound in this game is so good, but I'm okay with that because the game itself is just so fantastic and nostalgic, obviously. Oh boy, watch out! I got things everywhere to look out for. Oh boy, more things to look out for. Luckily, I can have like projectiles fired off everywhere. Oh, watch out for that and that one. This is what the face of a concentrated man looks like. I can't believe I'm actually concentrating this heavy with Drill Sergeant. I also can't believe Drill Sergeant's doing this well. There are many things I can't believe right now, apparently. Oh, watch out. Never mind, I don't even need to watch out. I killed him before the need arose. Get killed, Cinnabore! Oh boy, but now we have these guys. Yeah, we're just going to keep charging around here because the extra maneuverability makes it harder for the enemies to hit us, which is exactly what we want. Okay, those fools are all as good as dead, I'm telling you! Woohoo! Okay, let's kill him! Yeah! I think that's it! Wow! This is a shock. Drill Sergeant actually kind of surprised me. Liking Drill Sergeant is like the equivalent of actually liking Diggs unironically. How can you like that character? He's so unlikable, and the same can be said for Drill Sergeant. So, as you can tell, we didn't exactly do well on our objectives, but we're okay with this because we only failed 1 challenge in this entire level, and given how many air segments there are, and air obviously being the toughest challenge from all, I think I deserve a pat on the back that one right there. Gotta be careful not to break my shoulder with my own strength though. I mean, I am so strong, it's actually humiliating how strong I am. You know, my muscles are so thick and heavy that it winds up weighing me down and breaking my bones. I've been told so many times that I need to, like, stop being so fit and healthy because I'm too much of a perfect human specimen. I make other people pale in comparison to me. Like, women just look at me and they just ditch whoever they're with currently. You know, it's a huge problem. I can't be with everyone. You know, there's only one of me to go around. I'm sorry to say it, ladies.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe this is what commentary has become. Oh my good lord.
We should ask him.
Also, I now have out a forehead. It's a shame because I have a big forehead. There's a lot of brain to store up there. How's about to visit the Stone Town where we can also discuss and rank the boss fights, as I have been alluding to this entire episode. The entire episode has been building up to this. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. Here is where I realised that water is where Voodood will be tackling it, and with him, primary attacks only should be no problem, because primary attacks only are busted with that character. Voodood is just busted, period. I'm glad I managed to replace Wham-Shell with someone even better on the roulette wheel. Now we have quite the castle roulette wheel. If you took away, frickin' Tornado and Drill Sergeant, we'd have an even more perfect roulette wheel. But unfortunately, that's asking for too much. Anyway, I would say let's skip over all the unnecessary deep stew right now, but that seems to be an impossibility, quite literally too. The game said no. But what's interesting about Stonetown is recently, the very first initial prototypes of Spyro's Kingdom just launched. You know, got available to public and all that via hacks and everything. I haven't actually played the prototype myself, but basically Spyro's Kingdom is what came before Skylanders. A lot of the Skylanders gameplay is just Spyro's Kingdom with more depth and obviously, you know, more complete levels. But it's so obviously an early version of the Stonetown, this level within the prototype. Wait, not Stump Smash. I accidentally placed on the wrong character there, guys. I had Lock on my mind, so I put the Life Skylander on for the Life Zone. All I need to worry about here is Double Trouble not eating any food, which, as Prison Break would state, that's easier said than done. Hmm? Anyway, let's kill this Chonky Pod for looking at me funny no reason. And say, this level looks just like Stonetown, and you can play through it with the 5 original Skylanders, the Skylanders that were crafted for Spyro's Kingdom, and then obviously ported over to this game when they figured that 3D printing could make for a hefty profit by bringing toys to life, quite literally. Ooh, bomb, don't mind if we do. I'm not sure if Double Trouble is fast enough to get back for the Legendary Treasure though. But say, it's interesting how it's Stonetown of all things, which is the level available for a prototype. Definitely not going to make it in time. That's a shame.
I am not fast.
No kidding!
Luckily, I still have my spin dancing to concern myself with. But say, it's just really cool looking through all that footage and being able to see Bash, Tarklops, you know, other earlier characters from the original 5 that got developed for before moving on from Spyro's Kingdom to Skylanders. I kill you! I kill you! I hope I didn't accidentally gobble up some food like I did with Prison Break, because, you know, that would be habit, alright. Man! Double Trouble is so slow and bloody useless. Teleport it, teleport me. Woo! That was a close one. You just got to be careful not to hit the teleport on the way down by accident. Now, that would be truly tragic. Anyway, it seems as though water has popped up. We're gonna, you know, quickly squeeze around here so I can expose the location of one of the utmost hidden chests in the entirety of this game. This took me so long, I would dare not go into the details of how long it took for me to discover this treasure chest. It's so tucked away and there's not really much of a clue, like, hinting towards it. But no, I just wanted to start off this level, talk about obviously the Spyro's Kingdom prototype and how this level is very much what's featured in it, and we get to see a very early glimpse of basic gameplay that evolved into Skylanders. Obviously, with 3D printing becoming more available for the 2011s, they realised that with Toy to Life they could make such massive profit. Don't hit me! I hit you with my primary attacks only. Die, Crate! Die! Yeah, luckily I took damage, not that it matters, because this isn't an air zone right now. Thank goodness for all that. Without further ado, it's time to start discussing and ranking these boss fights with Skylanders Spyro's Adventure, so that then I can get the title, the accurate title at that, alluding to this very moment that has finally arisen. To which, after the highlights, no doubt I remember to put in the timestamp for this portion of the video in case this was a very important video you guys cared about. Mad, one intro to this portion of the video. This was indeed. So there are actually 8 boss fights in the entirety of Skylanders Spyro's Adventure between 26 levels. Fafix unfortunately doesn't count because you don't physically fight the villain himself, you just fight his henchman, which is a massive disappointment. And speaking of other massive disappointments, to acquire the Eternal Tech Source, all you gotta do is beat up a tank. It is so dull and boring. Like, seriously, this is the Eternal Tech Source. They have unlimited potential and creativity that could be put in towards a mechanical machine construction. And instead, what did they do with it? They do a fucking tank. It is so boring, and it's so unbelievably easy as well. It's hilarious how easy that tank is to destroy. Like, you annihilate it in mere seconds. Seconds! What kind of a boss is defeatable in seconds? It's a glorified enemy is what it is. It is not a boss. That is why the troll tank is easily the worst boss of this game, and it comes in dead last in my ranking. Now, the next couple of rankings involve around the chaos-like elemental conflicts. Obviously, you have 4 in this game. For 50% of the elements, you have the water, fire, life, and undead, and actually my ranking for them takes place in that specific order. Anyway, I've got to flip this upside down right now. There you go, I sorted that out. Oh, my inversion controls aren't doing me any good right now, to be perfectly honest. Okay, there you go, let's be rolling. I meant to roll before, but I pressed the wrong button with the inversion controls really messing up my mindset right now. That's just the joys of having a controller upside down. Like, you saw it again, me walking in the wrong direction. Anyway, I think it's time we should go back to those elemental fights with chaos at the end of each of those elements I just talked to you about. Water is the worst in there because it's just so damn easy, and the Doom Sharks, whilst being iconic, are far too easy to abuse because obviously you can heal up with them. And what kind of a boss gives you healing capabilities? Like, seriously man, a boss is supposed to defeat you, not make it all the more easier to be defeated by you. So the water segment is an absolute fucking joke. I understand it's practically the first boss in the game. Doesn't mean they had to make it that easy. Well, it's going to be fun to have to catch Oro with my controls inverted and all that. Anyway, I put fire next just because the spells don't do anything interesting. Like, it's just basic dodge and maneuverability that's required for it. Not like other spells that require like more concentration, because for undead, which is actually my favourite because it's easily the toughest even though fire comes after it, so it should be harder, you'd think. But yeah, I like the idea of the undead lasers, that's cool, and just the amount of concentration and quick reaction time required to actually get it sorted is incredible. Is what makes it so tough and a rather intense boss fight, to say the absolute minimal, because I could say more, I'm just not, which is why the minimal is being said all the same. Now we finally caught that guy, and say, turns out that fire, I just don't like the generic patterns of the fire, like objects to dodge. Like, at first fire rains from the sky, and then you have like just these pools of lava that try to destroy you and fail miserably because they're easy to dodge, they're generic attacks, and it's just a bit of a dual conflict really. Not to mention Igknight isn't involved, so the boss fight isn't even terrifying. Like, Igknight would be an automatic death sentence because he'd be so overpowered as an evil minion of chaos. But you know, they really lost out on the potential for the fire zone, not including the greatest and almightiest Skylander of them all as an evil version. Okay, watch out for you guys, especially since Igknight is powerful enough as is, and Chaos's minions have even more powerful attacks than your base Skylanders, which is so terrifying. So yeah, fire is just disappointing. It's my favourite element in this game. In fact, it's my favourite element in the Skylanders, all of its history, and yet for the elemental attacks and elemental minions and Chaos's conflicts, they are dull and uninspired. But say, all of these kind of rope together because they're all pretty much the same thing, rinse and repeat. Repetition is truly what harms them because of the lack of creativity, really. Yeah, I just get tiresome playing through the same things over and over again. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong attack buttons because of the fucking inverted controls over here. Yeah, this upside down controller is not doing me any favours. But next up, we get to move on to Oculus, a far more interesting fight than any of the elemental fights because it has some creativity to it. And you don't physically, like, attack the villain. Obviously, you use, like, the cannons and the world switching mechanics. So it's actually a really great conclusion to the level itself by taking advantage of the mechanics in a clever and unique way to beat the boss in the end. Oh man, I almost fell over by pressing the wrong attack button right there. So yeah, Oculus is just really creative, and he's a very charismatic villain as well, which makes the boss fight all the more fun and engaging for me personally. So it's fast-paced, it takes advantage of the unique mechanics of the level to craft a creative boss fight, which brings about the utmost satisfying conclusion to it all. you know, I could have thought of a better way to conclude for Dark Light Crypt. In other words, the Dark Light Crypt is my favourite level in this game, so obviously the boss that comes with it has to be fantastic by default. Yeah, that guy's so dead. And this is what happens when you don't script your ranking videos, folks. But the second bestest most boss fight has to be Chaos. It is a marathon is what it is. The boss fight is pretty long, and that's what makes it all the more intense. And the excitement just really it immerses you. You remain concentrated, and just the amount of immersion, intensity, and difficulty the boss fight manages to balance with makes it so creative and fun. Like, sure, Chaos himself doesn't do much. He just summons minions and has the elemental, like, spells he's been using throughout the entirety of the game thus far. But again, it's kind of like the culmination of everything that's led up to it. It's like you're training, and this is the penultimate moment for all of training to pay off. It's the climax of a movie, so to say, and it's very gratifying. But what's even more gratifying than that is the best boss fight in this game. So drum roll, please! The best boss fight in this game. Very appropriate because we're playing against him right now. That's why I chose this episode to rank all of the Skylander boss fights, because it meant the reveal of the best boss fight could be the boss fight itself. This is easily the best boss in this game because of the fact that, by the way, I no longer need to have the controller upside down because the Earth segment is no longer active. Boy, I've got to be very careful with an underleveled Bash right now because this guy is actually tough. But he has the most creative, like, attack patterns. Like, you can't really get personal because he'll just slam rock down on you. But say, he'll then create this tornado which you must dodge and rain down rocks upon you. So it's very much an Earth-based boss fight, which is appropriate given that he gives you the eternal Earth sources for reward. But it's so creative. The model itself, it looks dope. So the boss is a nice design, and for moveset the boss itself, it just gives you fun attacks to dodge, like the way how the rocks ricochet and all that. It's very cleverly done. You find yourself going against a boss which is intimidating, so it's an intense fight that keeps you concentrated and immersed from start to finish. It's got unique patterns that really add to the creativity of it all. It's a dope ass looking boss fight aesthetically. So ultimately, how could I say that there is a better boss fight in this game? There isn't, hence why the Stone Giant from Stonetown is the best boss in the Skylanders Spyro adventure. But now, with all 8 of those bosses having been ranked even, let's destroy this guy. Man, I'm stuttering much. Again, this is what happens when you don't script your videos. I suppose this is a fine example of both ranking for 8 bosses of Skylanders Spyro adventure from worst to best, as well as a fine example of why you should script videos. Oh wow, I barely dodged those. I'll take it. I do like not having to worry about additional challenges for boss, because the boss is hard enough as is, thank you very much. Especially with a level 3 bash with no upgrades. Die. Oh wait, no, we can just let the rock ricochet back into him. That's never clever part of the boss fight. Like, you let the rock just ricochet back into him, he leaves himself all exposed, like. Really rewarding you for paying attention and dodging his attacks. Anyway, luckily for us, we should be able to level up again and grab a shit ton of treasure from defeating the Stone Golem. It's a rewarding boss, which makes it so gratifying to defeat indeed. Okay, we want to make sure we get all of this treasure and all of the experience, because I want to see if we can get Bash some upgrades when we return to Ruins. Wow, I'm just short. 485, just short of the first upgrade. Though I do have the one wing sapphire from the beach, which unfortunately, because I grabbed that during the corrupted footage phase, I'm unable to showcase that to you in this episode. But there are other wing sapphires I believe we can collect. So if we gather one additional wing sapphire, we should be able to get that first upgrade for Bash, which is glorious. So speaking of glory, let's press the best video game to skip over unnecessary deep stew. Oh my god, it's Larbo, son of Barbo.
Sunlight feels so good.
Well, there's more than just that. I'll let Arbo explain it all. See you.
And the earth is just right.
Of course it is. Plus, I'm playing as Earth right now. Bash is Earth. You see what I mean? Arbo, absolutely legendary NPC. Oh man, I wish he was discarded. They even had a prototype scarred for him too. Man, this is the episode of prototypes. First we talk about Spyro's Kingdom prototype, and now we're talking about Arbo figurine prototypes. That's mad, I tell you.
I'm only 8 seconds old after all, but somehow
This is true. 8 seconds of it all. Now that is some interesting background lore. It's some of the only lore we actually get for Skylanders, but it's Arbo's species, like, living on through generations, and, like, in-birth garnering memories of ancestry. It's just a really interesting lore to tackle within this universe. And say, Arbo is a rather interesting character, maybe a little more interesting because of it. Say, this franchise does have background lore, just unfortunately not much of it. And the background lore it doesn't explore all too often. So the only thing I would do to make this franchise all the more enriching and powerful is to give it greater background lore. I mean, there's a huge universe, there's so much background lore they could explore with this, and yet they just never really bothered. Biggest disappointment for a franchise, if you were to ask me. That and also the inclusion of Skylanders like Blast-Mind and Wrecking Ball. Whoever made those characters, I hope they were fired, because they are awful characters.
What you people call it? We green folk know it as the Tree of Life. That is where you will find the life seeds. I know the way. I think I have always known the way.
Is that right, is it? So we're gonna leave Bash's upgrades and this like Wing Sapphire Gathering for the next episode.
Great memories. I'll just count my own rings until you return.
Sounds like a plan, my friend, but what also sounds like a plan is the plan to conclude this episode here. This video is coming to an end, and I want to thank you all so much for watching. By merely clicking on this video, you've shown support and helped it garner recognition so it can reach many other viewers here on YouTube. I'd love to see you take the extra step and leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Also, be sure to comment below and push that subscribe button whilst you're down there. By clicking elsewhere on screen, you can either check out a video that's specifically picked out for you, or you can check out the rest of the playlist for a series you just watched. Before ending off, I'd like to thank all of my Blazing Knights and Scorching Dragons whose support help make these videos possible. I'll be seeing you in the next video, and until that moment arises, peace!